play a game.
G'day viewers, we're in DRS. We're going to drive some stuff. Now I'm only going to use the core routes today, which I wrote them down. Where did I write them? There. North Landon, Westfords and Mountain Pass, because they should be the ones that take advantage of the new features. This is a wonderful theory. Today it's coffee. Because running late, of course. Got up in plenty of time, just didn't get out of bed because, you know, been working on the house. Hard work. Anyway, they seem to have actually changed some other stuff. Now, I could be dense, but I didn't actually know it had careers. Well, maybe it's always had careers, I don't know. But I don't play careers, so I just noticed it this morning and went, oh, okay. But anyway, let's single run, select the route, and this is all different. So all this stuff's changed with the patch, I'm guessing. So they're the extra ones I've got. So I've got Frisia, which is a community, Harbour community, Highland is a community. Lambourne is the one that comes with the game. They call it the demo. Mountain Pass and a narrow gauge mountain version of Mountain Pass. I think they're actually the same. It's just narrow gauge. So you can run the Kihas from Japan. North Landon, which we might start with, and Westfords. No, yes, and Westfords is the other one. Actually, we might do Westfords, because Westfords is the one in their screenshots. So we can have Westerns on Westfords, the default timetable, or we can have multiples. I think we'll do Westerns on Westfords. Why not? It's a particular day, August 1st, 1967. This is a semi-fast. I think we want to stop it, don't we? Kempsford empty coach. Oh, it's a bit early in the morning anyway. To express. Summerland special. Oh, let's do this one. It's a class 35. And its class is relaxing. Really is when you drive a train, but there you go. Let's get into it. Yes, we want the driver. I think this is new too. I don't think you could do this before. It's with clouds. Don't want any fog today. We do want full controls. We do want to drive. We don't just want to watch. We could just watch. I could pretend to drive. That'd be sneaky. We'll just drive. It's loading stuff up. You can relinquish control of the train by pressing escape and then opening in the driving settings to watch. Well, that's okay. How is everybody anyway? Look at those amazing Gretas spewing out of the DMUs. This is called Diesel Railcar Simulator. Den says some of these classes are desperately needed in TSW. Could be. Hello, Michael, Andy, Rails of Illinois. Greetings. I'm thinking there's only going to be one stream today. I haven't scheduled another one, but we'll see how it goes. We're working on our house, and if we get it done, then I might do a second stream. Might not, because I should actually concentrate on Trent Valley. I'm just waiting for this to draw everything. It hasn't drawn down here, which is interesting. Oh, now it has. It's still drawing stuff as we look. Huh. Well, it's filled it in. So we're sitting here in the Kempsford station. And what have we got on the front? No, 2. There we go. D7017. And there's a double D over there. Oh, that's a new meaning to a double D, isn't it? All right, we should press the start button, which is what? I always forget. It's the pause key on the keyboard. All right, now I've got to remember how to drive this thing. Does that mean we're alive? No. So, master key first. Does kind of sound like we're running, but I don't have any RPMs, so I don't think so. I'm going to find my start buttons now. Somewhere there'll be a start button. That one? Big button there? No, AWS. Actually, it does sound like I'm alive, but I have no RPMs, so that must be the other one that's alive. So, ooh, it's got tips now. So that should move it to on. The reverser should still be in neutral, but haven't found the start button yet. Where is the engine start button? Is it that? No. I haven't driven this one before, clearly. Or not for a long time, one or the other. And you can't stand up in here. You can't just get up and go, I'll just get out of the chair and find the button, because, no, you can't. It doesn't work that way. That's a hot plate. Nice. Alright. How do we start it from without using keyboard controls? I mean, I could. If I had to. Might have to. Alright, I think it's you or something. There it goes. Sounds like we have power. No, I think it died. There she goes. What about headlights? We got headlights on now? Oh, Greta's.
How dare you?
Get her in early. Get her in often. Do we have headlights for this beast? Looks like not. Must have marker lamps or something. No, we'll figure that out later. It'll be fine. I probably am running late. It's time to go. I should get out of here then. So I should put my reverser into forwards. I hope. Let's go back in the cab. Reverser. So I can't move the reverser at the moment. Ah, because that's still on. Okay. Now I should be able to move the reverser. Except the thing that I'm supposed to use the reverser for is zooming instead. Weird. Ah, it's backwards. That'll be forwards, I think. Let's go. Brakes off. It's vacuum brakes. Good. Such a weird old game, this one. You can hear the vacuum compressor thing running. You can't open windows or anything exciting like that in this game. Revs have gone up. Brakes are releasing. Hopefully we'll be able to move soon. And hopefully I did select forwards. We do have the green. Brakes could still be pumping up. Oh, it's trying to move. It's only trying to move. We got wheels spinning? Probably. No, no movement on the wheels yet. Let's go more power. And that would appear to be backwards. Okay. We don't want to go backwards. No, that'd be a poor choice. Let's go the other way then. Right. Take off that tiny brake and let's go. Loco brake could be on. Good call, then. Yes. No, that put it on. That wasn't on. That put it on. Because the brake cylinder pressure went up. No, the loco brakes weren't on. Oh, you know what it might be? Might be the handbrake. Oh, look at that. Look at that. TSD's an idiot. Okay. It is a proper simulator. I keep forgetting that. We can go now. Ah, it's alright, Dan. Not a drama. Trial and error. Trial and error. We'll get this right yet. We'll get this right. You've been decorating, Andy. Yeah, we own a another house which we've had tenants in for a while. And we are selling it because, in case you can't tell, I'm old and I want to get rid of some debt. So we've been up there working on that. And it's surprisingly just how shit a house goes when no one's looking after it. Because, you know, tenants don't actually care. They'll contact you if something happens, like their hot water doesn't work, or if the roof caves in, or something like that. But nothing else. Rails says, can you get wheel slip? You certainly can. Yes, you definitely can, and you can get proper derailments, where you actually derail, and you can run into buffers and your train doesn't shoot into space. Here comes Thomas the tank engine. Game's a bit quiet, isn't it? Do you want it louder? You can already see the grass looks nicer. This is the new small grass over there on the left screen. I do believe we have a signal I should probably pay attention to coming up soon. And for those who thought Track Monitor came from Train Simulator Classic, look down on the bottom right. That would be Track Monitor. Rail says it's Daisy. Who is Daisy? Andy says, let me guess, mainly lots of annoying little jobs need doing. No, big ones. And then lots of little ones. Big ones first. We can open her up now. Even though we're approaching a red signal, we don't know that because we can't see it. Besides, it'll probably change green anyway. It does look better. The grass isn't as flickery as it used to be either. Still a little bit, but not terrible. Oop. AWS thing. Or vigilance. We do have an advanced warning of a red. So we shall come off the juices. Mandatory safety systems in this game, you cannot turn them off. The sky does look very good. It's got nicer clouds. Rail says Daisy is based on a 101, but has another cab of a 121. Well, fair enough. I think I should be braking a lot, because I just realised that red signal's right in front of me. That's right, we'll just destroy the vacuum entirely. Oh, it's come off now. Of course it has. That's okay. Sorry about that, passengers. Yeah, driver's really bad at this. We'll just wait for it to actually do something. It'll be a few moments before it can move again, since I destroyed the vacuum completely. Den says, any resident huntsman spiders? Of course there are. You want huntsmans? Oh, I'm sitting on the HUD, aren't I? Let me move my ugly mug off the HUD. I'll put it over there. Put it next to the gradient level. We can pretend that's me being level. Now, I forgot the controller doesn't work unless you actually clicked on the game. You want huntsmans because they eat the other spiders. Andy said he knew it would come off the second I went full brakes. Yep. What a nice throb. Grass waving in the wind looks pretty decent. We should probably pay attention to though, because we've got more red signals coming. So we'll go back to off. Actually, do we have a red signal coming? Yes, we do. Just down there, in fact. Let's tell the signal one we want it changed. And there it goes. And this guy's been patiently waiting for us. Oh, there aren't AI drivers in this game. There are AI, but not AI drivers. Is there a class 26 in this game? That's an excellent question. Do you know I was supposed to be in Charrington 47 seconds ago? Let's grip it and rip it. I don't know if there's a 26. I don't think there's one in the routes that I've got, but we can have a look in the menu. yes. The proper tilt of a good canted transition curve. It does share one common trait with TSW. Track shadows that run out in front of the train. Except they're not shadows, I think it's actually the chairs. Are we going too fast? No, surely not. Surely not me. No. We're just trying to do some spirited running to catch up a little time. Because we're a little late. A little bit of spirited running won't hurt anybody, will it? Ah, God rays. And it almost feels like Tree Sim World, doesn't it? Yep. Don't worry, it'll move by itself soon. Carter Asher, hello. Rail says, how are gaming companies able to get camera movements and rotations in games like this? The gaming engine does it. The game can take over and do its own things, but the gaming engine actually supports all these cameras. Look at the individually moving bits of suspension, including the springs. That's better than someone else we know, isn't it? Me? What? Don't understand. We have a green, but we also are coming up to Cherrington, so... Bit of the old gentle braking this time. There's no such thing as late in the live stream world, Carter Asher. Welcome along. You join in if and when you please. And leave if and when you please as well. It's very casual. I know there are some streamers that want people in at the start and want people to leave at the end. Carter asks, are you going to the Dovetail Games HQ? I can tell you that I am, but I can't tell you anything about it. That's not meaning to be snobbish or anything. I just can't. I'm not allowed to. And I can't tell you what they're going to tell us, even though I can probably guess. I can probably guess that it's probably Train Sim World 7. And I can probably guess that because we've had a new version every year now. For a few years. The brakes are a little touchy in this. Andy says, can't think of which game you could mean, Paul. No. Den says, oh, so no bad news about TSW7 then. No, I'd be surprised. As we roll into Cherrington, approximately 4 minutes late. Nearly 5. In fact, 5. We'll go with 5. We haven't stopped yet. The people don't look like much in DRS, but they don't jump on the tracks, and they don't fly, and they don't stand in the roof, and things like that. They do stand in the middle of a door, though, like she does. But that's okay. How many cars are we? I forgot. 4. Okay, so we should be stopping about here, then. That'll do. Good enough. 5 minutes late. Excellent. Let's release the brakes just a little bit, but not all the way. No, I said not all the way. You have to have some brakes on. Although, I could release the vacuum brakes and put that on, couldn't I? I could. And I just have to wait for the whistle now. Does it open doors? Oh, it does. At Cherrington. There you go. Doors are closing. Guard's door closes last. After we get the whistle, maybe? There we go. Okay, we are allowed to go. Let's get some revs on and then get this brake off. Away we go. I saw this morning that Terrier Stepney guy got his YouTube account back. It's an important note for content creators to make sure that you actually use the available security features. So, two-factor authentication at the very least. Do not use a common password. Do not share passwords between your accounts. Use a password manager, a reputable one that doesn't steal your passwords. I also highly recommend hardware-based keys. If you get a hardware-based key, make sure you get 3 of them. Always have 3 of them registered. The reason you need 3 of them is if one fails, you can switch to its alternate. And if you can't find that one, or it fails, then you have a backup key. And you register 2 as primary and 1 as backup. I carry one of my primaries with me. The other primary lives elsewhere, and the backup is stored. I should have been paying more attention and noticed we're actually allowed to go 60 out of the platform there. I was thinking we should go slowly out of the platform and I didn't fang it. I missed an opportunity to fang it. Oh no. But that's okay. There were changes to the trees. They're a touch less flickery than they used to be, but they're still a little bit flickery, but that, I think, is an emulation of wind. We have green on the advance. And we're allowed up to a whopping 90 miles an hour now. Excellent. And we're not stopping at Little Cromer's End. How unfortunate that Cromer has a little end. Rail says your phone is getting hot because you're exporting a video that you've recently finished editing. That shouldn't really make your phone hot. I'm guessing it clearly does in your case, but it shouldn't really. We have a 70 curve coming, and we have a green as the advance predicted. And he says, I don't be shocked if they didn't announce TSW7. This is true. Carter wants Class A4s in TSW7 so you can do a double header with Sir Nigel Gresley and the Flying Scotsman. I've seen you mention that on the Dovetail streams, Carter. I'm not going to be worried at doing 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. I don't really care. As we approach Little Cromer's End. Andy says 5 minutes late, still on time for BR. Yes. As we run the Summer Down Special. I was attempting a gratuitous bridge shot there, but pressed the wrong button. Ah, look, smaller flowers. That's what we came here for anyway. They are definitely smaller. They used to be the size of people's heads. It's an interesting view, isn't it? Got rid of it by a train. Get out the way. Back up to full beans. Rails asks, how does the sound designer manage to sync track joint audio samples when trains pound over the switch frog? They don't. The sound actually comes from the points, because it knows when the wheels are on it. And it doesn't have to be all that close anyway, really. Because sitting up here, you don't actually know when your wheels hit the points, really. Carter says, are you going to doubleheader with Mallard and the Flying Scotsman? Well, you're assuming that's actually happening, Carter, and given DTG are allergic to steam, I would be just a touch surprised if that actually did happen. Just a touch. Den says there's so much necessary data process happening in the background of modern phones these days that things shouldn't make a phone hot. Now do, it's a pain. You just need a good phone. We're just behind the target speed, but we'll be okay. We'll pretend it's fine. Look at that. Perfection. This game actually does rob speed from you when you're going through curves, because its physics are good. I actually made someone really mad at me last time because I said on the stream that this thing's physics were as good as Run 8 and its graphics were better. And the guy got really, really mad at me. But the reality is, both are true. So he can keep being really mad at me. That's fine. I don't mind. Back to the full fang. Shall we look at the Gretas? Why not? It's just vomiting out pustulant smoke. I thought it would vomit out constantly. That's better. It's vomiting out constantly now. It's a little puffy like a steam engine. We'll pretend that's all right. An industry. So if you are into train simulation and you're on PC, sadly it's not available for console. But if you are playing train simulation and you want to play one that has really good physics, it's from the BR era. There are some other third-party things like the Kihas, so that you can pretend you're in Japan driving around on British railways, but that's okay. There's quite a lot of content for it on the thing, on, what they call it? Steam Workshop, yes. It's been building all the time. It's built by one guy who goes by the developer name LapioWare, and he also builds Construction. And I was a little bit worried that Construction would, potentially kill this game, but no, he's managing to look after both and he's putting out regular patches into both, which is quite awesome. As single indie developers go, he's quite mature in his practices. And he says, it's just me or the track and ballast look more natural now as well. He has done something with the ballast. Matt's talked about doing something with the ballast in TSW too, but he's actually said that before. I went back through my previous things about 3 years ago. He said a thing about doing that. Back onto full hell. We're now 6 minutes late. Soon we'll be in DB territory. Carter says my favourite A4 is Mallard in BR green. Isn't Mallard blue? Has Mallard ever been anything other than blue? And he says, only time my phone gets warm is when it updates, ironically. Yeah, I suppose it's doing a bit of hard work there. Rail says it's justified. Andy says certainly looks a lot better than Run 8 now with the update. Yes. Oh, that came on in a hurry. Why am I so dark? Nah, doesn't matter. No one actually wants to see my head anyway. Better get back onto the little bit less power. We have a green on the advance, which tells us that the next signals are also green, despite what the HUD was saying. Oh, it's changed. Good. Den says the Jubilee is an easy drive for me. Open firebox, both dampers leave open, sort of easy on the regulator, and bring the reverser back as necessary. Reach 37, you'll reach 90. Yeah, the Jubilee runs pretty nicely. There are apparently some changes coming for steam firing, but whether they get back ported into the other locos when the German one comes out, we shall see. Ooh, I'm supposed to slow right down. I have porked this. We're going to go through this 50-mile-an-hour thing at a very excessive speed. We might actually derail. The signal will be watching this going, uh-oh. I think we're going to be okay. We'll come off the brakes now. Give the poor thing a chance to recover. Well, we survived that. That's good. Too busy talking, not enough watching. That's why we don't actually talk much in engines in real life. That and it's really loud. I've actually had to give up my firing shift next weekend, so I've got more time to work on the house, which is a bummer. But it was a choice between giving up streaming or giving up the engine shift, so... I know it sounds weird, but I gave up the engine shift. Den says, en route to crew after Weaver Junction. Very nice. Well, there'll be a new crew in the game tomorrow, or the day after. Or the day after that. I'm showing it tomorrow anyway. I'll be showing Trent Valley tomorrow, so I have made a post for anything that people would like to see. Back up to full clag. This time I'll try and pay attention. I don't run this route much, so I haven't really learnt any of it. So I'm quite reliant on the HUD. And if I'm not looking at the HUD, that doesn't help. That does not help. Rail says the suspension system physics in this game are amazing. They are. Yes, they're probably the best in any of the games, to be honest. Because the whole carriage has physics. I don't know if you've ever watched the carriages. Let's get in closer. If I go there, you'll be able to see it. See how the carriages actually move around independently? And every piece of the bogie is simulated. So they're all moving quite independently. The springs move. They compress and expand. That's just really nice. We're going to fly through Little Bar. Rail says Mallard is blue. Yes, I know Rail... I'm pretty sure Mallard's always been blue. I don't think it's ever been another colour. Except maybe in wartime. But there were some engines that they actually kept in their primary colours because morale. The fields look nice now. With the smaller grass and the more sparse grass. I just got a achievement for going too fast. That's pretty funny. See if we can actually get down to 50 mile an hour for this next one. But I don't think so. Maybe. 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 Better come off the brakes before we get there, I think. It'll take a little while to pump the vacuum up anyway. There we go, look at that. Slightly harsh braking, but that's okay. There are some A4s green. Yeah, there is one. Hornby Man says Rail Tour Class 37 are fast to going through train stations. I don't know, are they? I like this viaduct. We just missed a train. We just missed a train on the viaduct. We have a green on the advance. I'm sad that we missed a train going over the viaduct. Never mind. It's arches on arches on arches. Back onto the full clag again. Den says it's originally been stated the new Steam workings for the German loco only. Yeah, it's only coming out with the German loco, but I'll be curious if they get ported into the other ones, because it has been a bit of a bugbear. And yes, I know the new news train is by TSG, and it's, oh, I forgot who's been helping them. One of the other devs has been helping them. The one who was doing Peak Forest. That dev. They've been helping TSG with the Steam engine. And I know it's a TSG engine, but the guy that runs TSG, the leader of it, he actually works for Dovetail. So, you know. It's a bit like Liam. Liam's a third-party developer after hours. During hours, he's an employee. And I'm meant to be slowing down, apparently. So I will. Ah, that's because we've got Flitwick Shield coming up. We're supposed to stop there. We shall bring her in. Carter says you meant 60022 Mallard. Well, there's only one Mallard. Whack. Mallard is indeed a duck. I love that you can partially release vacuum brakes. We have a green on the stick, or as they say in Japan, Shinko. The safety lady at my railway was talking about introducing signal pointing, and we all went, don't be stupid. We only have 4 signals on the entire railway. Let's watch the suspension and the points. Well, that was disappointing. Track looks too good. The sparser grass does look better. And I like the soft transition into the ballast, where there's a bit of grass growing into ballast. It used to be a hard edge. Now it's quite soft. It's good. I am appreciative of that. It looks more natural. Andy says, I thought you were doomed over the points. So did I, actually. I was a little bit surprised that we got through that. Mike6694, good man for highlighting this game I didn't know of. It doesn't look bad. Yeah, its looks are really getting quite good now. When I first started playing it about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, it was quite terrible. It was worse than Train Sim Classic, but these days it's actually getting quite good. I do wish there were more routes for it. And one day a third party might branch out into other countries, but for now it is just UK stuff. Ooh. I see it's had some optimization done too, with some of those pillars are missing. That's okay. We're supposed to stop a moment ago, so we'll stop here instead. Very harsh braking. Get off the vacuum. 5 minutes late still. At least we're consistent. We are consistent. Oh, hello. You've got a bad case of puffy face. I think you might be a zombie. There you go. Does doors closed. Oh, they've finished loading the freight. He has said one day we might actually get passengers moving around and porters and stuff like that, so we'll see. Should hopefully soon hear a guard's whistle. There it is. That was a bit of a quiet one, wasn't it? Nick says, never heard of this game, but what a good looking game. It is pretty decent these days. It is pretty decent indeed. Let's maybe go on the outside of the train. Look at the fan. Oh, that's just one way to inspect the inside of the carriages, I guess. We'll do it. Why not? It wasn't quite the camera angle I was planning. Because in this game, if you want to have an outside camera like this, what you got to do is you go into the cab, and then you go outside cam, and then you go into the free cab. Because it's not that advanced. You can't move it around. Hornby says, that's your best class 47s or 50. I like a 47. But I've only experienced 150 in real life, so... they're very loud, the 50s. Whereas the 47s have a good throb to them. Now, let's ramp it up. We should only go up to 50 though, because we have a restrictions shortly. Hobby Man says summer soon. Well, it's winter soon here. In fact, it's winter now, isn't it? Yes. Yes, we're in June. It's winter. Den says that Nekotelban is more than likely the very last chance for Steam. Oh, we'll see what happens. Because, you know, third parties might want to make it. Third parties want to do it. Who knows what might happen. Andy said, I'd be surprised if it gets back ported to TBH's DTS. It doesn't seem to do that with older routes. They do occasionally. And there are a lot of changes. A lot of those changes that come out in those big patch updates, some of them have actually been sitting around for years, waiting for their time for a light of day. Look at that optimization happening out in front of us with the trees appearing. You could do that better. Into the curve we go at an appropriate speed for a change. I've seen on rail tours Hornby Man 47s, 37s. I saw one hauled by 70s. I've even seen one hauled by a 90. So there you go. We've got a new Andy. Mallard was green for a short time in the early 60s. Oh, fair enough. Thank you for that tidbit of information. Carter Asher says, I can't wait to see TSW7 this year. Sadly, sir, you'll have to. It's not very long to go, though. I mean, what is it? June, July, August, September? That's when it'll come out, probably, would be my guess. Not leaking anything, not predicting anything, because I don't actually know anything. Yet. But that would be my guess. It would surprise me more if they didn't do it than if they are doing it. Just almost looks like the Australian outback in the UK. It's got that kind of brown, summery look to it. But we are running in summer, so I suppose it should. It was one of those interesting things that I found on my visits, that when the UK think it's really hot and dry, it isn't. Although this year I think you guys might actually experience some bushfires. Real ones. Because you're in for a bastard of a summer, if spring's anything to go by. I don't think it's going to be very pleasant at all, really. It's like Australia has taken over the UK. I should speed up some more. I thought it would keep speeding up, but it didn't. Andy says, I thought there was a Dutch route in this game. There might be. The advance is green, so the next signal should be green as well for Belsham. Get some more revs on. What a weird place to put a rev meter, given that they could have put it in a dash face. It's weird that they put it up there. But that's okay. Rails says TSW7 hasn't been announced yet. No, it hasn't. But, you know, would you be at all surprised if it existed? I wouldn't. Not at all. Watch out, Belsham coming through. Hold on to your push chairs so they don't get sucked into the train and smashed. I always like that announcement about push chairs. It's like, who says push chairs? Nice suspension movement. It's very realistic in the way the cab bounces. It just feels right. Den says, have a good evening. Good luck on the house. Oh, thank you. Yes, we'll be working on it. This stream won't be as long as usual today, because the only reason I'm getting away with doing this morning, given we have work to do, is yesterday we washed quite a lot of the outside timber ready to be painted. And that needs time to dry, because the house is in the mountains, so it's always a bit wet. So we'll give it 4 hours in the sun, and that should give it time to dry out enough to paint it. We will not be stopping at Clipstead or Chorley today. Homie Man says, I like your Class 50 double header. Which one was that on? I'm trying to think which railway that was. Uh-oh. Am I going too fast again? Yes, I am. But how would I know I'm going too fast? Oh, I was going to go too fast. I wasn't going too fast yet. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I get what it's trying to do now. That was quick. Ah, small flowers. Imagine popping back in there just in time to see that signal red. Wah. Carter's going through the release dates of Train Sim World. And Rails says, nope, nor do I really care. Fair enough. Hobby says, Steam won't be running in summer, it's going to be too hot for them. I think there's a couple of railways who've been out to visit mine, and they've had a look at the machines that we run behind the trains, so we still run steam in summer on most days. There are some days that we only run diesels, but most days we run steam, and we have a thing that's basically a golf cart on railway wheels that follows the train. Green on the advance, or the distant, depending on what you want to call it, from which system you're from. And those things have 500 litres of water, and they can deal with small stuff, and they report bigger stuff that they can't handle, and then get out of there and the fire brigade come and deal with it. Rail says, how does house paint stick on locomotives? Badly. House paint's not for locomotives, you need an enamel for locomotives. You need metal paint. Look out, Clipstead. Coming through. That was from the viewpoint of someone way too close to the train. They and their pushchair would probably have gotten sucked off the platform. Not that much braking. And he says, did a few wildfires UK back in 2022 during the 40-degree heat wave. One is about 3 miles from where I live. I think they're probably going to become more common, sadly, Andy. The wonders of climate change. And while I do make fun of
How dare you?
that one, because she's always struck me as an activist for the sake of being an activist, climate change is real. Man, that's a big bush. We seem to have inherited bushes on the tracks from Train Sim World. Excellent. Bit of fog in the distant valley there. That's a good performance technique. Stops the engine from drawing it. The advance is green. Andy said, you know, got that one. Rail says steam locomotives like operating in summer. Steam locomotive crews don't like operating in summer. It's a bit horrible. Hornby Man says, what has the best clag? 47s, 37s, or 58? I think a 37 has pretty spectacular clag. But I can't say I've seen the others under a really heavy load, so it's hard for me to say. I think you'd be a better judge of that, Hornby Man, than me, to be honest. Nearest you get to a gratuitous bridge shot in this game. Say hello to the signalman as we go past. Gravity is having the necessary effect on our speed. Andy says, I agree, it's becoming more common over here from natural causes. Previously, we only tended to get them from idiots causing them with things like barbecues or arsonists deliberately doing it. Yes, we have many arsonists ourselves. It's a strange thing. It's something I don't really understand. It was always my biggest worry living in the mountain house was fires. Ironically, in this house, we live next to a giant park, so, you know. Did you see the optimization on that bridge there? That's what you're going to start seeing in Train Sim World. Optimization. Plants painted onto surfaces. I don't think it's worth accelerating up to 85, just personally. We have a green. Rail says there was a derailment in Iowa. The train struck a semi carrying John Deere equipment on a trailer at a crossing. Smart truck driver. It resulted in death of 14-year-old male who was inside the semi at the time of the accident. Hopefully not driving. Truck drivers do some dumb shit around railways, they really do. Hornby Man likes station announcements that the next train does not stop here. Well, this route doesn't do announcements, or the game doesn't do announcements. It concentrates more on the driving experience than extraneous things like announcements. Start accelerating now, because we should come out of the 50 zone before we get too fast, I think. Or not. Carter Asher wants an A1. I assume you're active on the Dovetail Discord, Carter, asking about the things that you want. And to get things like routes and trains and things like that, it's best to explain why you want it and why it would sell, and give them a bit of a story. If you go in there and say, I want an A1, they'll ignore you. But if you wrote them a little story about why you want an A1 and why you think it would sell well and what routes it should run on and historically what kind of timetable it did it have, or do you want it to run rail tours on multiple routes? If you go in there and give them that kind of little spiel, those things tend to get read. That's kind of what they like to see. Lapio is very active on his Discord as well. Rail says, if only trains in the US, Mexico and Canada have a feature, they automatically come to a halt before hitting a person, animal or a road vehicle. Well, how do they know it's there? Within their stopping distance. So if you've got a train that takes, in your measurements, 3 miles to stop from 70 mile an hour, they need to know about stuff well in advance. Big wobble over the track work there. It keeps highlighting my brake. But you can't use GPS to figure out what is ahead of you. GPS only knows where you are. And in fact, GPS doesn't know where you are. You know where you are based on GPS signals. We're stopping at Nastbury, which is our next stop. Green on the advance. And he says, speaking of potential disasters, a light aircraft crashed yesterday in a field opposite my daughter's college. If a couple hundred meters closer, it would have been in her college. That would suck. And Hornby Man says the Pullman is a good rail tour. I follow a channel called Vass Aviation on YouTube, and they have lots of air traffic control clips of unfortunate things. But this morning they had one where the clearance for takeoff was requested by a 6-year-old kid. It was kind of funny. Rail says trains in Japan have 4 emergency brakes, so they stop 20 seconds before striking a person. I don't know where you read that. That's rubbish. That's not true. The Shinkansens do stop well, but they still take a long time to do it. What they do have on level crossings in Japan in cities, they don't have them on rural ones, is they have cameras and movement detectors, so they do actually know if there's someone in the crossing. But it doesn't mean they're going to be able to stop the train. Lots of our level crossings have movement detectors too, so we know if there's someone there. Nastbury, next stop. It's quite a nice looking station. Whatever you're doing this, I always hear the Star Wars voice. Stay on target. Is the back in? Back is in. That'll do fine. Rails asks, why can't we tighten railroad crossing safety in the US? In fact, why can't we certain places in the US tighten security other than just airports? Well, people don't like security, so security is a balance with freedom. And if you tell people they can't go somewhere, they want to go there even more. So, yeah, it's not always a simple thing. And why can't you resolve level crossing accidents? You need less dumb people. Hornby Man says, what rail tours have you been on? I have been on a few, but mostly I go to Heritage Railways. I mostly don't do rail tours. Rails says there's crossing tags at some crossings that you can call to avoid a train striking a vehicle. People call 911 anyway. It doesn't do shit. Well, 911 do actually know, based on the numbers on the crossings, who to talk to, same as our emergency services do. But there's still physics. Even if the train does get warned, it still may not be able to stop. So one of the ways of resolving it is you can do what Melbourne's done. We have spent billions and billions of dollars eliminating most of the level crossings from the rail network in our city. They either go under or over. In poorer areas, they go over. In richer areas, they go under. Although I have to say, the outcome of SkyRail has actually been very good. They're not as noisy as people thought they'd be. And you get these really cool linear parks running under the railway, which is really nice. It's a new community space. Seaford is an awesome example of that. Station near me. Rail says money isn't always the answer to certain problems. No, you can't just fence them in. You need to educate people. Because they need the roads to be able to cross the crossing. So you either go under or over or at level, at grade. Not many other choices. Green on the advance. And fencing things doesn't work anyway. People will still go through. Americans like having their perception of freedom. When you take away that perception, they get upset. They don't really have any more freedom than people in Australia or the UK do, but they think they do. Look at me doing the right speed. Isn't that weird? We will be rolling through Cold Cockwell. Carter wants to know what the last add-on will be for TSW 6. Well, there's a few things due, aren't there? There's Nikotolban, there's Tadami, there's Crew Preston, there's Trent Valley, there's the mining one in America. So there's a few coming up. Which means there's going to be a big spurt of releases at some point, if they don't carry them over. Still consistently 5 minutes late after bodging the start. So I've been pretty good at staying on 5 minutes late, at least. It's probably pretty normal for a rail tour anyway. Andy Ladd reckons probably Preston Crew or Tadami will be the last one for 6. Yeah, it's hard to say which one will come out last. I kind of expected we'd have Tadami by now. I hope people aren't disappointed in Tadami, to be honest, as well. Because Tadami is a, it's a relaxing one. Green on the distant. I'll have some stuff to say about Trent Valley tomorrow. I've made tutorials for the 350/4 and the 807. Not that you really need tutorials for either of those, but there will be people who aren't clever enough to realise that a 350/4 is exactly the same as the 350/3/2 or /1 from a driver's perspective. And there will also be people who don't pick that an 807 is the same as an 801, 02, 03, 04, 05. So I've done driving in guards modes for both. I've done a little bit of driving on the route now. I can't talk about it clearly, but I have some impressions that I'll talk about tomorrow. There's a few things people have asked to see. There is a post on my YouTube channel, or you can jump in my Discord. If there's anything in particular that you would like to see on the route on the live stream tomorrow night, which is Monday morning for a lot of people, Monday night for me. Yeah, let's go back to Full Fang. Andy says, I think the mining one and the new Steam one are likely TSW7 releases. Look, that may be, who knows. There has been a pause on releases while they sort some shit out, which I'm really pleased to see. Because, and the reason I say that, I know there's been no announcement, but the reason I say that with great confidence is because we had a whole bunch of stuff that's expired at 0 to 3 months. So it's pretty obvious that there's a pause on releases. And Trent Valley being the first one to pop out, but I suspect we'll either get one by one for the next few weeks to get them out, or we'll see some deferred, one or the other. I like that nothing has collisions in this game and the cameras just fly through stuff. It's just so simple. I think one of the things that hurts TSW, and it's not one of the things in Matt's big list, but one of the things that actually hurts TSW is the amount of shit that has collisions on. Because everything you've got collisions on consumes memory and CPU. Andy says, you'll have people moaning, and this is about Tadami, because it doesn't look like running train, it's not a high-speed line. Yeah, that's my fear. Not so much that it doesn't look like running train, I don't know that too many people will worry about that. I don't think running train is the big deal that a lot of streamers are making it out to be. Because they should know better. They're going, oh, this will encourage dovetail, or this will force dovetail. No, it won't. Dovetail would love to make Train Sim World look better, but they don't have that capability right now until they move to UE5. And moving to UE5, as has been said many, many, many times now, would be a different game. I'd love it if they did. But I don't know that we'll see it quickly. I think we'll see it. But I don't think we'll see it quickly. I think there's more interest in stabilizing the current game. Rail says, I heard if you apply emergency braking on a curve at 40 mile an hour higher, it can cause derailments. I really don't think so. Where you'd get derailments in that circumstance is not so much from applying the emergency brake. It's more about... We've got a red signal coming up. It's just more about the stability of the train. So if you're going slow enough, you won't have an issue. But if you're going into a curve too quickly, that's more likely the cause. Just putting the brakes on should never actually derail a train. You could brake it, you can certainly brake couplers, but you still shouldn't derail anything. Andy says, can you show the railfan positions they've added to the route, please? Yep. Would you mind chucking that on the post, Andy, so I don't forget, because I'll make a list from that post tomorrow afternoon before I stream. Looks like we really are going to get held at this one. No, it's come off. We've got a left-hand green, which means we're departing the main. The next advance is green. That'll do. It's not the angle I wanted, but it'll do. So I better pay attention to the signals, really. There's a massive viaduct there. The Cheesemeister, hello. I'd really like to see how route hopping works between West Coast Mainline South and Trent Valley. Could make a big difference to the value of Trent Valley for you. I think someone has actually put that on the post, but if you wouldn't mind just dropping onto the post and popping that on there just to make sure, that would be appreciated. And Carter says, I'll be doing an 8 AM London to Crewe in TSW6. Oh, why not? that will be one of the possibilities that I think people are looking forward to, is being able to actually take a service out of Euston and run up the West Coast main line for a long distance. And while you'll have to swap errors occasionally, should be able to make it through. And I dare say people might make scenarios that go all the way through as well. So you play it on this route, then this route, then this route, then this route, using modern trains. That would be possible. Andy says DTG will bring out a train sim in UE5 in a few years, but it won't be TSW. No, it'll be TS3. So Train Sim Classic is TS1. That's always what it was called. TSW is actually called TS2 if you've ever looked in the folder structure. The new one will be TS3, and it will have some whiz-bang marketing name, I'm sure. And about 2 years ago, I started predicting it and speculating on it, so I reckon it's probably a 4 to a 5 year job, so maybe 2 to 3 years from now, I think we'll see it. What might hurry that up is the dramas that are occurring in UE4 on consoles. That might push it to be a bit more of a let's do it now thing. Cheesemeister says DTG need to create a new game before they disenfranchise the whole console community. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that's what could potentially hurry it up. Is that signal red? No, it's okay. It's not mine. Relax. It's all good. It's all good. I was looking at a different one. That poor bastard's been patiently waiting for us. And we're dutifully rolling through at low speed so that we don't derail. We're on the curly bit of the line now. Andy, thank you. Andy said possibly see DTG skip UE5 and go straight to 6 for the next game to try and get ahead of games like Running Train. If they were clever, they'd do that rather than going with 5 to stay ahead. Yes and no. There's risks in it. So if you go straight to the newest engine, and I think this is why they didn't go to UE5 a few years ago, because when they were debating did they upgrade to 4.27 or not, there was discussion around going to 5. And they didn't go to 5 then because it was too new. And I think that if you want to go to 6, you need to be prepared, prepared for a lot of risk and consequently a lot of cost. So I don't know that they would. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think I'd do that if I was managing an organisation. I would go to 5. Because going to an engine, 5's been around now for probably 4 years, maybe 3 years mainstream, but 4 years. Which means, well, look at the funny little lodding windows, the same problem TSW has. What a surprise. It is the same engine. What a surprise. No. But if you go to 5 now, you could hire lots of people that know 5. And if you went to 6, you can hire no one that knows 6, because the only people that know 6 are the people who are building it, and you're not going to get one of them. Ooh, I've lost a minute. Terrible. Let's go back to flat stick mode for a little while. Now, interestingly, I don't know how many of you are actually on Running Trains Discord, but I got a response from Rizu. One of the other Dovetail ambassadors is a moderator for Rizu, by the way, which is good to see. It's good to see the spread across the community. But we'll do a little bit of spirited running for a while and try and recover that minute. See how we go. Just a couple of miles over. Be right. But one of the common answers I see from Rizu for why he's not doing things is that his code is a bit of a mess. And that can befall indie developers because they tend to learn a long way into their project why larger organizations do coding in what seems like quite inefficient practices. But when you start to scale up and you've got a lot of code, those inefficient practices actually come into their own and they make a lot of sense. And usually when small indies figure that out, it's actually too late. And I think that's where Rizu is. So what I imagine he'll probably do is go into a period where he's refactoring. I shouldn't keep saying he, because I don't actually know what Rizu is. I shouldn't assume. I think that Rizu will go into a period of refactoring their code for a while. So we probably won't see new routes for a little while, because there needs to be some code cleanup done. And it's kind of a smart thing to do anyway. Andy says it makes sense to go straight to 6, otherwise you'd be potentially back in the same boat in 5 years' time when someone does a new game in 6 and everyone is moaning about it. Oh, look, it's always going to happen, though. That's just how development works. Someone would always beat you to the latest and the greatest briefly, and then you leapfrog them. It's like the way the trees pop in on this game. It's less visually damaging than the way TSW does it. But they both run in the same engine. They're both running in Unreal 4. And I know that LapioWare has learnt some stuff from TSW, and probably vice versa. Because anybody that thinks all these developers don't talk to each other is a bit nutty. Even in the corporate world, we talk to each other. You go to conferences and things, and you talk with people about problems you're having and how they've solved them. I work in a particular industry. I won't go into which one because I have enough trouble with people stalking me as it is. But I work in a particular industry, and we often go to our sister organisations in the same industry to learn how they've solved problems. And that can give you two things. You might actually learn a solution that you can implement, but you might also learn that that organisation has the same problem. Or you might learn that organisation is actually a little bit worse off. All of those things can happen. Games developers are no different. They're not going to talk about what they're actually building, but they'll talk about their technical issues. Still 5 minutes late. I can put up with 5 late as long as we keep it. Got a bit of a stop here. And rest my hands. I'm using the Xbox controller for this game today. I just accidentally blew the horn. Other end, he says, from the bits I've seen, 5 to 6 doesn't seem as big a step to 4 to 5. No, it's probably not so far, but that's probably because Epic haven't revealed the big bits yet, I would think. The same happened in 5. They didn't reveal the biggest bits of 5 for quite a while. Some good quality thrash. Cheesemeister said I'd like to see them go more down the flight sim route and concentrate on building a really good core and importantly keeping it up to date, evolving, and let third parties create the content. I think that's a natural progression as they move towards a new game. That is what will happen, is DTG will do little or nothing in terms of routes. It's like in TSC, the annual release now has got no DTG content in it at all. It's third-party stuff, and last year's was a shit choice. It's actually kind of funny. I had a very funny conversation with Jamie about the choice of Saluda. It's like, have you ever driven it? And he goes, no. And I said, drive it. Go and drive it. Jamie never came back to me with what he thought of it, so I think that says enough. Cheesemeister says the core developments are applied to all content and routes don't go stale after being put out for a while, but this doesn't match the current business model. I kind of think that would be a natural consequence of rolling into a new engine with a new game. And I actually think that we are seeing that, Cheesemeister, because DTG haven't been building very much. And even when it's theirs, it's mostly Rivet doing the build work under contract to DTG. So I think that the core routes in 7, I'd be surprised if they weren't DTG routes, but I'd be surprised if DTG built them. Rail says Saluda should have been the grade that Gordon stalls at. Gordon can't get up hills. Rolling through the very dry looking countryside here. I'm kind of liking the way the clouds have worked here. They're not moving very fast along with the train, which is good. We're in the trees! Bop, bop. Get out the way. I'm kind of liking the new hints. If you hover over something, it tells you how to do it with the keyboard. Quite like that. Surprised Grumpy Englishman's not here today, because he loves this game. He's always pushing me to stream it more. But he's probably in the middle of flying his plane somewhere. In Flight Sim. Andy says, do you think the core routes for 7 could potentially be the first time we see a third-party route added? I kind of think DTG would at least sponsor the development of the core ones. Because I don't think they're going to want to pay licensing to third parties. This is a very tight curve. Green on the distant. You can turn most things on and off in this game, Andy, so I'd be surprised if you couldn't switch them off. So I've trimmed down my HUD to only the current speed, really. And I may even get rid of that. I'll probably keep the gradient, though. That's a nice footbridge. Well, there's little signal boxes out in the middle of nowhere that people had to get paid to man. We have a green. Yeah, we picked up a minute. It's funny that you mentioned fencing in grade crossings, Rails, because those ones are fenced in with gates. And most UK crossings are like that, but you still see people doing dumb shit. UK crossing gates, for example, have a detector that if they notice that the gate's hitting someone on the head, the gate goes back up again. I reckon just hit them on the head. Because, you know, they put the head there. And he says, I happily do a job like that where it's just myself, with no one around for miles. At least you wouldn't have to deal with idiots all day. No, you just have to deal with the guys in the boxes next to you. Bing, bing, bing. I had a go at that signal box simulator that someone suggested last week. I really need to learn English bell codes. Because, you know, you got to do it right. But I foresee that there could be a signalling stream coming up. It's not the most advanced graphics in the world, but, you know. Neither was this one at one stage in its life. You could always be a lighthouse keeper, Andy. Be on your own for months. Just don't take your family there, because lots of lighthouse keepers who've taken their families to lighthouses murder them. Red on the advance. Fabio Sarts, hello. Welcome along. We're playing Diesel Railcar Simulator. Looking at how it looks since the recent patch update. And I have to say it looks pretty good. Andy says, not looked at it yet. Look forward if you do end up streaming it. Yeah, I want to get a bit confident in it before I stream it. It's very easy to get lost, I've discovered. The way the game manages interlocking is a little bit weird to me too. No signals in front of us are departure signals. I wonder how they run this train out of here. They're going to have to reverse it somewhere to put the engine up. Because there's no points at the end here. Interesting. Yeah. The water looks really good, actually. I don't think it recognised my arrival. I think I have to go further. I think it wants me right up the end. Alright, let's have a look outside. Those waves look really nice. They look quite natural, don't they? That's very well done. That's why I didn't recognise my arrival. I wouldn't have been past the gates. And I was only 4 minutes late. I'm curious to see what it does to get out of here. Because it should go itself now. Or is it just going to sit there? No, it's just going to sit there. So what is it going to do? Nothing by the looks of it. Oh, that's nice. Look, you can actually see a bit of the boat underwater. I should set up some camera movement controls. I don't have any. It's camera movement. Oh, it is set up for the sticks, but it's not actually working. That's interesting. That's interesting. How do we... I don't want to rotate. I want to move. Oh, we should have stuff set up for the keys anyway. Interesting. It's WASD. An E and Q. D-A-E-Q. Let's try that. No, it doesn't work when it's paused, I guess. D-A-E-Q. No. The camera controls don't work in this camera. Never mind. Maybe if I put it in that camera. No. Interesting. Would appear to be the camera controls are balked after the update. I'll stop rolling. We're not going to run that. Anyway, let's go back to the main menu. Let's have a look at another run. Might do a... We do a rail car this time? Or do we do something else? We'll do one of the other routes. We'll do... Why don't we do Westfords this time? No, that's one we did. North London? Yeah, North London. We'll do that one. Yeah, we can do 1967. Why not? Intercity Express. Oh, I'm filtering on express services. What if we do stopping services? Are there any? There are some. Suburban stopping 708. Why don't we do that? It's class 112. Have to remember how to do gears now. Yep. Great. Drive. Master key. Doors should already be open by themselves. No, they're not. What's the gears going to be? D-pad up and down. Okay, that makes sense. Does it work? Not without the reverser in. What have I got the reverser set to? Oh yeah, Guard has done his thing. Off we go. in the little whale car machine. It's quite a few rail cars, really. Sounds remarkably like an old bus. Which I suppose it is. Rattle, 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 rattle. Oop, wrong way. I should make those D-pad buttons the other way round, I think. Dilso is the next stop. As we cruise, the thing barely maintains speed. Got an upper quadrant green. And yeah, weren't most of these built with engine and components pretty much like the Pacer was? I think they're a dedicated design, these ones. It's a good thing this signal's green, because we're going through it. Ah, it stopped poorly. We'll be going backwards now. Because I don't think that'll count as a station stop somehow. I've actually got people in it, too. Wow. That counts as a station stop. That's better. Okay, we have got a Guard buzzer. An uphill departure. Had to go with the brakes on a little bit. Finally, the brakes are releasing. And away we go. Andy says, must admit, takes me a while to get used to the brakes on these. I'm either stopping way short, I overshoot. Same with the 101 and TSW. They are a weird brake. There's another one on the bridge above us. We're a bit under revolution for this gear, but given that we stop in a moment, I'm not going to bother changing. Another one. They were following rather close. Let's see if I can do a better job on the braking this time. Let's get it into lap for a start. Quite the steep gradient here. I don't know if we're going to make it. Oh, that's because the brakes are going on. Oh, why did the brakes go on? It was sitting in lap. I was thinking it was just the gradient, and I'm going, why is it slowing down so much? I must have gone slightly past lap, and the brakes slowly came on. Feel free to laugh. Interestingly, the training link for these in the game actually takes you to some LMS videos on how to drive them. That's a better stop. People getting on and off is clearly modelled because doors only open where people are getting in on and off in the rail cars. So it's a bit different to the others. I think there is actually a key to take it to lap from memory. Let's just have a look. Lap brake is D. All right, we'll try that. Let's try it. Doop. There you go. Yeah, I think I took it a bit too far into the braking range without realizing I had... I love that it starts rattling to remind you to change gears so you don't have to watch the tacho so much. Because if you're not sure, when this one wants you to change gears, so you're changing down a gear or changing up a gear in those ranges. And you're only supposed to idle in fourth. Coming into Abbott's Grove next stop, we've got a green on the distant. Just letting gravity do its thing to slow us down. Why use brakes? Not required. Back on the main, we should be able to accelerate soon. No, we probably want to go into second gear, I would think. Might have even gotten away with it in third. Andy says, I do enjoy driving these, also the 101 in TSW, something about the hands-on nature with the gears and everything, it feels satisfying. It does. It absolutely terrifies some people. But you just need to know a few basic things. This will probably be the last run today too, I think. On time? Me? What? No. Not possible. Not possible. Oh, that's an interesting concoction. Off to St. Padding's Cross. Which will be in the country, you watch. That's a lot of rail cars. When you're running that many rail cars, you'd have to wonder to yourself, why aren't they just running a train? I think one of the other things I like about this game is that every start is a cold start. You just have to do it. Red on the distant, which means we've got a red signal coming up. It's a train in front of us. No wonder we've got a red. One brake application. I think we're on the money. Oh, and it's come off. Let's try third gear and see if we get away with it. Yep. So that train up there is just crossed from the other line next to us. In fact, there's two trains. Look at that. We can have parallel running. Is that? No, it's not facing me, that signal. It's fine. Parallel running with 3 trains. Except one of them's going that way. We'll just roll the rest of the way now. Two threes. And we have a red on the distant. At least I think that's a distant. Certainly is a distant. Welcome to St. Padding's Cross. It's not quite out in the bush. That signal must be right after the tunnel. You wouldn't want to come rolling in there too quick, would you? Yep, right after the tunnel. We'll take this up to the end of the platform. We've got a minute to get there. Can we make it? And he says, the Heritage Railway I'm looking at potentially doing a driver experience on has a 101 that you can drive. Highly tempted on it. Ooh. Chuck me details. Chuck me details. That would be a lot of fun, I think. I need to know. Perfect. Is good. So I've got the mini-map on, so I lose 1% of my score. Showing target speed loses 5%. I should probably get rid of that, really. Repeating signals. Is good. Is good. Well, just while we chat, we can see what happens. We got an on-time arrival for that one. So I dare say it'll bugger off by itself at some point while we chat. But so yeah, it's been interesting chatting today, and definitely send me details of that one, Andy lad, because that sounds like a lot of fun. The Great Central. Ah, yes, I hadn't made it to the Great Central. That could be the excuse I need to actually make that happen, Andy lad. Maybe somewhere between London and Wales we go to the Great Central. Dunno. I think this will just drive itself out of here, I assume. because I'm not going to. But it's been a good stream today, so thank you very much for joining in, folks. Trent Valley tomorrow in Train Sim World, 10 a.m. BST, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So should be good. I'll tell you, I haven't seen anything absolutely disastrous. A few things I'm not that huge fan of, but, you know, I think they are inevitable. I have been warning for a while what optimization actually means, and you're going to see it. It has come to pass. Ooh, looks like it's getting ready to go. We should stay here while it does. I am finishing early, Michael, because I've got an enormous amount of work to do on the old house. So, yeah. Centrally located between Leicester and easy connection in London and Wales. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like I might just have to have a look before I go up to the old house and see what the dates are, because we're probably getting close enough that it's worth booking to make sure I get a run. So I'll have a look, see if I can make it work. Alrighty, that's it for today. Trent Valley tomorrow, 10 a.m. BST, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I may do a stream tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't scheduled one because I'm not sure I'll be back for it, but we'll see. We're only working outside today, so we won't be there after dark anyway, but I also may not feel like doing one because I may be a little bit buggered. We shall see. This is the third day in a row up there, and it's, you know, it's not that much fun. I'm not liking it that much. The other half's not liking it that much. Kids hate it, but, you know, it's just what we got to do, isn't it? Alrighty, have fun, folks. Enjoy yourselves, and we shall see you next time, which might be tonight or definitely tomorrow. Bye now. Yeah, my cats don't work. Why don't my cats work? Oh well, bye.